We are playing purple, red, pink, something? Pink suppression? Sure.
You're watching Rain Knight Gaming.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rain Knight Gaming. I'm Rain Knight, and it's time for a little 10-minute testing. What's 10-minute testing? Well, it's where I find really cool decks or build really cool decks and bring them to you guys to see if you may want to play them in real life as well. We're going to go ahead, go through the card by card, and just kind of see what the deck is working with. Then we're going to go through a couple replays just to kind of see how the deck performs. You guys can hit me up in the discussion down below to tell me what cards you think I should maybe trade in and out. Love hearing from you guys. Love crowdsourcing a little bit of ideas. If you guys want to be members, you can be members for 99 cents. Ding, 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 ding. You'd be cool like those guys. Or just like, subscribe. Maybe head over to the Discord. It's a lot of fun. Also, I have all the packages shipping out pretty soon to the people that won the last two giveaways. I'm super procrastinating and haven't shipped those out yet. My bad. But they should be headed your way pretty darn soon. Okay, guys, let's jump into this and see what this deck has to offer. Okay, so we are playing purple, red, pink, something? Pink suppression? Sure. This is just kind of some fun I'm having. I really like the Lupus type stuff to add a little ping, and I wanted to mix in a little bit of red just to kind of see how it worked, if it was kind of a fun way to do it to get past some of the aggro things. So, you know, it's a test. It's 10-minute testing. So here we go. We've got I'm going to move this down here so I can see both at the same time. We're playing 4 of the Graze custom. Just, you know, it's your good opener, plus it works to fuel Lupus. Then I do play the little puppy that gives support too. This is one I could cut. I kind of put it in there because I needed the 3, and I thought it might help me get through EX bases a little bit easier. So this one is kind of a meh moment. Of course, Barbatos first form. It's a necessity. It's one of the great cards that costs a bunch of money. So this thing's going to cost you $20. $100 if you want to play all of them. Fun. But this is going to let you get those, you know, draws and everything like that. Plus get through some bases because you'll be able to hit for 5. So pretty cool. Barbatos Adept. This is probably one of the better cards that came out of this set. Really kicked off Burple and really helps this deck out too because you're able to ping some more damage out there. Just a really great card and really cool art. More ping and a little bit of like control because this is like a mid-range to long game deck. So we do need a little bit of blocking action, but this also helps us do a little bit more ping damage to help control that board a little bit more. Also, you know, all these pings do also set up for, you know, your Battle of Aces to maybe finish things off. So that could be working good in tandem. Then we do play 4 of 4th form. Pretty cool card. You don't see it in a ton of decks. You do see it in side decks for like the purple stuff like that. But isn't really main decked a lot. So I'm trying to put 4 in here because I'm putting a lot of suppression in here because I figure control the early game. Then when you get to these, you know, 6 and the 8, you start hitting for suppression or at least scaring for suppression and making them go after these while you ping things with your Lupus. It's an idea. Then Lupus himself. This card's amazing. With this deck, you don't get as many pops as you would with a dedicated mill deck. Usually when you get to him, you're going to have 2 to 3 pops. Probably through an entire long game, you'll probably get 4, maybe 5. Probably not 5. It really depends on the mills from some of your cards and how some things come out of shields if you can get to it. But you can usually plan for at least 2 and possibly a 3rd. Then we are playing the big new GQuuuuuuX, the 8765 with suppression and deploy ping 3. So it's just a little bit more ping with that suppression. It's a really good card, just generically good. So I wanted to put just 2 of him in the deck. I put 2 in here. Yeah, 2. Simply because I didn't want to have that many 8s. It's already kind of a heavy deck with the 4 6s, 4 7s, and the 2 8s. And if you're too heavy, you're just not going to get there versus any kind of aggro decks. It already gets kind of close. So I wanted to keep it to a lower number, just a nice to have, not a need to have. Getting to pilots are pretty simple. You're basically what you're going to play in these like Lupus builds. You're going to play Mikazuki, just because, he pings one, more ping damage, woo! And he, of course, links with all of your Barbatos stuff. And then we do play the Zeheart, just because he's really good, because he's a 2/2. You can put him on one of your blocker cards, and it makes him huge. Or you just put him on anything, so then you mill 2 cards, and hopefully gets you almost an activation in itself from Lupus. Just a really good card to work with Lupus, because it helps you mill those cards. Valve, we do play close combat to help us get through that early game, maybe take care of some early trades, kind of things like that, or maybe clear the board off a little bit in the late game so we can hit in for Suppression. It's a really good card, simply because you ping 2 on any unit. It has no limitations. It's also really good with its burst effect coming out of the shields. It can really slow down aggro decks if it comes right out of the shields, and you don't have to pay for it. So very, very good card. It's old, but it's good. Battle of Aces, I am playing 3 of these. I didn't want to sell it all 4 because I was kind of getting low on units, and you do need to play quite a few units in this deck simply to make it function, because you don't want to brick on pilots and commands, So we are just playing 3 of these, and it's really good because we do a lot of ping damage. There's a pretty good chance you're going to be able to, put this out there fairly easy. Plus its burst effect to do 2, same as close combat, really can help out of those shields. Last one, we've got improved technique. I'm running 3 of these. I find they're really good. Obviously, very good card. The only problem is its level requirement can kind of hurt you against those bigger decks, like the big O decks and things like that. They're just not functional in those, but still, really good card. Also activates out of the shields. Those are kind of those burst effects can really shift games in your favor. But obviously this is something that lets you clear out, blockers, all that kind of stuff really easily without having to trade your units. Or it'll set something up to be able to be pinged down for just 1. So, this with all the other ping that comes through purple is just really good in tandem. Last card, we are doing Mining Asteroid, whatever the last word is. the red mining card. It's a 6 health base. I decided to go pretty generic with the base. I'm just running 4 of these because you don't want to play too many bases. Yeah, I thought about playing some ones that had fun effects and things like that. But realistically, with the aggro format we're in right now, you kind of need to run those 6 health bases, simply because in the early game, you can pop this thing out and it'll survive several hits. So it's going to be good coming out of there. And that is the entire deck. Bring up the list again for you so you can see it. Bam. It's a fun list, and I think you guys might have fun playing it as well. Let's jump into a few replays. I will speed them up so we can just kind of go over them. I'll talk about things that went good, things that went bad, things I did bad. Let me know if you see other misplays that I may have missed that I could have done a lot better, because I love learning from you guys, because together we can all be better players. That's super cheesy. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, jumping right into the match here, we're going against an aggro deck, and you can see that he is just spamming out units. But the 6 health base did exactly what it's supposed to do, and it protected us in that super early game. So now our ping can start to take over the match and slowing the aggro deck down enough so we're just not ran over in those early levels, which it gets pretty close because, Char is Char, and he's going to drop a bunch of damage. This was a cool deck. It was a white-green Char deck that was pretty decent. I'm going to have to try to find that list somewhere. But as you can see, we've gotten to the point where we're getting pretty low on shields, but we're also whittling his board down a bunch, and we're getting pretty lucky on those bursts coming out of the shields. That's letting us, whittle down his units so we can use our singular pop damage to get rid of slightly larger units. And right here, we're able to also trade into units with our bigger booties and still survive. Lets us kind of build a bigger board while controlling his board. And as you can see, we're getting close to our late game stuff. And once we can get that Lupus out, that's when we can really control things. And one thing that you really also want to do against these aggro decks is starve them out, because they're going to burn through tons and tons and tons of cards. So what I do is don't swing into the shields as much as you think you could, simply because you want to make it so you're swinging into the shields and taking out nearly all the shields in one go and not whittling them, so maybe they end up getting pilot, another base, something that just kind of hurts you and not them. So you can see, we're building up our forces and using our ping damage to control theirs. He is getting draws off of this, but as long as he's not picking up link units, we're okay. Even right here, we could have hit into his shields, but I knew he had a link pair in hand, and I didn't want him to have a chance to have a second one and finish off the game. So we just continue to whittle down his board, take control of the match, because this is more of a control style deck than any kind of aggro. We want to just continually work through our deck, build up Lupus, and then get into our breach if we can get into the breach. But as you can see, we've got a pretty big board here of 5. He's down to 4 shields. So next turn, if he isn't able to clear off stuff, then we're going to be able to go in for game. He must have had nothing right there, and he knew he was going to lose, so he gave it up. Going into the next match, this one did not go as to plan. So I wanted to show you, what it looks like if you're not getting the win, so you can kind of learn from it. This is against a big O blocker deck, which, the blue-white big O deck is super good. So I might have to retool this a little bit more if that starts to become more prevalent in the meta. I kind of feel like this deck works better against the aggro decks than the huge blocker decks. Mid-range, it does pretty good. But this thing has Amuro, has all of the other big cards that let him rest things, so we're not able just to build up our board and slowly ping off his units. I do make a couple mistakes in this match where I should have used something on his turn, but I didn't, so I ended up not using my resources correctly. That's one thing you really have to watch with these decks, is because you have so many things that can be activated on their turn, you need to make sure you're using that in the proper orders. Otherwise, you just start to fall behind. And right about here is where I've started to fall behind, because the big O's out there and it's just healing, and I can't get rid of it. He's got enough stuff protecting it that it's just hard to get rid of. And I didn't really prioritize getting rid of it, which I probably should have. That thing just stuck out there from basically the middle of the game all the way to the end, and it was just an albatross, destroying me. And he was able to just keep on putting out blockers to protect it from being destroyed. He had some good commands that also helped me not destroy it. So that was a really big pain in the butt. He also just kept on getting those link pairs with Amuro, and was just able to keep resting my stuff, so I could not set up. One thing I also probably did wrong is I burnt through my resources in my graveyard with Lupus a little early. That might be something against these later game decks you need to hold on to, so maybe I could have spent one turn and gotten rid of the big O. But as you can see, he's just grinding me down. We're both getting low on cards, but because he's gotten so much value from his healing of his units, he's just outpacing me. And right there you see he protected him. I was going to be able to ping it down, but because he used that command, it survives, and then it heals for all the damage I just did to it. It's just such a pain in the butt card. Rolling right into our last match. We've gone 1-1 so far, not too terrible. Hopefully we can end on a high note. This one is against, looks like a white ping deck, white-red, so we're getting some really good color variations. Didn't run into a purple deck. I was hoping to run into that to see how we would do. But this is like I think it's like a white-red aggro deck, maybe? I'm not terribly certain. You have started to see a lot more of the Academy stuff popping around, so it's kind of interesting to see those things. But we're able to pretty much do the same thing we did to the other aggro deck, where we're just trying to control things, slow him down, slowly ping through his units to take care of stuff. You know, he's using his commands pretty effectively to kind of slow us down. But, you know, luckily we are getting some good ping damage that we're able to at least get rid of some of his units each turn and not let him stack up that huge board. We've also gotten pretty darn lucky on our things coming out of our shields, getting another 6 health base, which is always super, super helpful. Right here, you know, I have a unit that has suppression, but, you know, you just can't always use them for those effects. You kind of just have to use them where they're going to do the most for you. And right here, you know, I'm able to swing, not die, then use my ping damage to take care of another unit and to weaken out the other ones. So now I whittled him down to 1 unit. I still have a base, and I still have 2 units up that he's going to have to get rid of. He is able to get it pretty easily, but doesn't have many more plays because, again, we're choking him out. We're not swinging into the base. We're not giving him cards off of his shields. So we're tied 3-3, but I have got a stronger board at the moment. I have an active unit with a huge booty on it because, you know, he is, let's see, 5, 6, 7 booty, which is ginormous. He is going to get one of his cards back from this, so we're going to have to get rid of this thing fairly quickly. Otherwise, he's just going to, keep hitting us with those commands, and we don't want that. That's going to be it today, guys. Hopefully you guys like these videos. Hopefully you go down, subscribe. 2-1 is not terrible. That Big O game kind of hurt me. But hey, you guys know what I always say. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.